Alright folks, let's talk about the US presidential election. It's a wild ride, full of twists and turns that would make even the most seasoned political analyst scratch their head. You might think it's as simple as picking your favorite candidate and casting a vote, right? Well, hold on to your hats, because it's a bit more complicated than that. The race to the White House begins long before Election Day. We're talking months, even years, of campaigning, fundraising, and trying to convince the American people that yes, you are the best person for the job. Now, you can't talk about elections without mentioning the political parties. In America, we've got two major players, the Democrats and the Republicans. Think of them as the Coke and Pepsi of politics, always vying for the top spot. It's a massive operation, folks, and it all starts with a simple question. Are you in or are you out? So, we've got our candidates, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to win over the hearts and minds of America. But how do they do it? Well, they campaign, of course. This involves a lot of handshaking, baby kissing, and giving speeches that would make even the most eloquent poet weep with envy. And then, there are the debates. These are the main events, the political equivalent of the Super Bowl, where candidates go head-to-head on live television. They're a chance for voters to see the candidates in action, to hear their policies, and to witness the occasional awkward gaffe. A strong performance can give a candidate a much-needed boost in the polls, while a weak one can leave them scrambling to recover. But let's not forget the role of the media in all of this. They can make or break a candidate, and they know it. Now, before we get to the big show, the general election, we have to talk about primaries and caucuses. These are the preliminary rounds, the political equivalent of the Olympics trials, where each party chooses their champion to run for president. Primaries and caucuses are kind of like that, except instead of athletes, we have politicians, and instead of medals, they're fighting for, well, votes. A primary is like a regular election. You go to your polling place, cast your ballot in secret, and boom, you're done. A caucus, on the other hand, is a bit more involved. It's like a town hall meeting where voters gather together to discuss the candidates and then literally vote with their feet. These early contests are crucial because they determine which candidate will represent each party in the general election. Conventions and nominations, the party's choice. Alright, so we've made it through the primaries and caucuses, and now it's time for the main event, the national conventions. These are basically giant pep rallies where each party officially nominates their chosen candidate for president. Imagine a stadium packed with delegates, all dressed in their finest red, white, and blue attire, waving signs and chanting their candidate's name. But the conventions aren't just about celebrating the nominees. They're also an opportunity for the parties to come together, to unify behind their chosen leader, and to present a united front to the American people. And then, there's the vice presidential nominee. The presidential nominee gets to choose their running mate, and it's a decision that's not taken lightly. They need someone who complements their skills, who can balance out their weaknesses, and who can step in and lead if needed. The Electoral College, a system like no other. Now here's where things get a little complicated. In the United States, we don't directly elect our president. Instead, we have this thing called the Electoral College. Each state gets a certain number of electors based on its population. On election day, when you cast your vote for president, you're actually voting for a slate of electors who have pledged to support your chosen candidate. In most states, it's a winner-take-all system. That means whoever gets the most votes in that state gets all of its electors. This can lead to situations where a candidate wins the popular vote but still loses the election because they didn't win enough states. It's a confusing system, folks, and it's been the subject of much debate and controversy over the years. Some people think it's outdated and unfair, while others believe it protects the interests of smaller states. Your vote, your voice. The importance of participation. So, there you have it, folks. A crash course in the US presidential election process. It's a long, complicated, and often baffling journey, but it's also a testament to the enduring power of democracy. But here's the thing. None of it matters if you don't participate. Your vote is your voice, folks. It's your chance to have a say in who represents you, who makes decisions that affect your life, and who shapes the future of this country. So, register to vote. Do your research on the candidates, and most importantly, get out there and make your voice heard. Because in a democracy, the most important office isn't the one in the White House. It's the one you hold as a citizen.